be good this year.
Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey, champions. Number one spot for the
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2026 here on YSN Live, and we are back. And better than ever, we've got music. See, you can turn it up.
You already know, hey, full of drive, hunger and passion. Represent the home of champions. Legacy.
Yeah, baby. Driving up those production values a little bit at a time. Welcome to 2026. It is YSN Live for January 5th, 2026. The first show of the year. 2025 is in the rear view. And straight ahead, ladies and gentlemen, we have the best year this earth has ever had to offer. My name is DJ Yoakley, alongside the 8-time, maybe 9-time now best-selling author. We got to go back to 2025 and look at that. Could be 9-time best-selling author, world traveler, Emmy, Grammy award-winning, Pulitzer Prize nominee. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the new Anthony Ronald Hardwick.
It's another year, another chance for that Pulitzer Prize. I'm going for it again. We're gonna win it. This year. Lost it last year. We're gonna win it this year.
Keep swinging.
Journalism.
That journalism, we'll get it one day. And ladies and gentlemen, kicking off the year in the only fashion he knows how, and that's the good fashion. The professor himself, the best writer in the entire country. Ladies and gentlemen, the photographer extraordinaire, Mr. Greg McAfee.
How are we doing, guys?
Dude, it's great to have you on here.
It's great to be back.
Right? It feels like the Christmas and New Year break is it's exciting and it's also devastating at the same time, because you're like, oh, we have 2 weeks. We're rolling right into this. Yeah, you feel how the kids feel, kind of. And then it comes back and you're like, what did I do? With time doesn't exist. Vacation didn't exist. It's just one of those things you just kind of fall into and fall out of. What did you guys do for vacation? Greg, we'll start with you.
I mean, Christmas time, I had my mom come down here to the Boardman area. She spent the holidays with us, so we did dinner with my mother-in-law and her and my wife's family and everything like that. And then we spent Christmas with my niece and nephew and their family. And then New Year's, we kind of just hung out, watched a little bit of Stranger Things, and kind of, watched the Ohio State game and everything like that, and just kind of enjoyed it as much as we could. But I mean, like you said, this time is it's from a work perspective, it's weird because like you're like, all right, do I work today? Is it a day off? Like, what do we do? So it's good to find like the rhythm after the New Year. So I'm excited to be back on the show for sure.
Ronnie, what did you do? How'd you feel your time?
So, well, for Christmas, like I think a lot of people
Ronnie.
spent it with the family.
Uh-oh.
Am I still there?
Yeah.
Oh, DJ froze.
I think
Okay.
DJ might be froze.
All right. I thought I thought there was an issue with me. Okay, so yeah, for Christmas, spend the Christmas season with the dad side of the family. On Christmas Day, most of them are in town, so we get together every Christmas and have a great meal. We had home cooked pasta from my uncle. He likes to make his homemade noodles and spaghetti, fettuccine noodles, which I actually really like, especially when they're homemade. So it was fun to sit there with family. I wasn't able to get to the family Thanksgiving party. I was a little bit under the weather during the Thanksgiving time. So great to see them again for the first time in a while. So that was fun. Christmas Eve was more of my brothers and my mom with just a kind of more, intimate dinner with those three instead of a big family dinner. So that was fun too. And then, of course, you spread some off days around with some games. Obviously, we had the Holiday Hoops Classic at South Range, the 8th annual one that was 16 games in 2 days, which was a monster. But then, you get a couple of days off after that, and you're kind of hitting the pause button and the play button sporadically during the Christmas break. It's like you're putting it in reverse and then getting it back into full gear, and then hitting the brakes a little bit, then getting it back into full gear. So that's always fun, but it much needed a couple of days off. Definitely been Stranger Things with Greg. Finished the finale. So I have finished Stranger Things, and it took 10 years to get 5 seasons, and I think it was worth it.
I
Greg,
have
what do you
no
feel
idea
like?
about
Feel
anything
like it
about
was worth
Stranger
it?
I'm not a stranger. Am I back, or am I like, what is
You're
going
back.
on?
Okay,
Okay, we're
you're good. You're good.
Okay. I was getting nervous. Thought I fell into. I started talking about the space-time continuum, and I think I fell into it. Well, it's good to see that you guys had some time. Anthony, you are a psychopath. You and Ty you sign up for that willingly. Not even difficult. A great showcase of girls basketball, but boy, those 2 days are filled to the brim with some of the best hoops. Oh, gosh, some of the best hoops you're gonna see. I choked on my own spit there. Not good. Not good. So we went down to Disney World. We went to Vero Beach. So we do the whole Vero Beach, Disney World, Vero Beach thing. Kind of sandwiching Disney World in there between some relaxing days. But I will tell you that when you get to Disney World, it doesn't matter who you go with. It is not relaxing ever. Like you get down there and you can travel with the best people as we did. You get down there and there's just people from all over the country. And I will say this, I love the world. I live for peace. But boy, you can tell very quickly why the United States won both wars. Like it just like people get in your way with strollers, not from this country. And you immediately, okay, buddy, this is how we're going to do things. I get it. I get it. We lived our best life down at Disney, but I have a couple pictures I want to show you guys, and I showed you before we went on. So we got the good old family photo here with Sully from Monsters Inc. As you guys see,
There you go.
Big guy right in the middle, and you got the Z-Man and Bella and my beautiful wife Sarah. We did this the first day, just character watch, right? Then the third day, third day, we were very fortunate to have great friends who always sign up for the VIP tours. So we get to go like hop lines and stuff like that. Whichever ones we want, they plan. Basically, we just follow the leader at that point. Wow. Pardon me. I will tell you that my daughter, Bella, was too short to ride the Seven Doors Mime Train or whatever it is last year. She was devastated, and this year she just made the cut. And here she is, front row, hands up in the air, not a worry in the world, just straight around chasing Dopey and Happy and Blinky and Blindy and whoever else the dwarves are. We were worried about the deer, not necessarily the dwarves. And as you know, Bella's 4 years old, and as you know, I have an older. She has an older sibling. I have an older son than Bella, who is 7, who is Z. And Z didn't exactly like the roller coasters nearly as much as Bella. He didn't like the roller coasters at all, but I give him credit for showing up because I mean it's not his bag. Like he got on Test Track, which Greg, I know you're a Disney guy. 65.1 miles an hour is
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, fastest. We asked the VIP tour guides, is it the fastest? And they said it's the fastest ride in the park. He had no problem with that. None at all. No problem with the airplane that hit turbulence on the way down to Disney. But the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, boy, oh boy, that threw him off. Like look at that face. You can't make that stuff up. But a great time to hang with the people that on my side I call family, the Bells and the Buricks. We talked to Trevor Burick from Louisville, his parents, his family, unbelievable. The Bells, if you remember Logan Bell from Lisbon, his parents and siblings, just a great time, great people, and I can't thank them enough for being who they are. Not even about Disney World, just about being people that want to share in the joy of watching my kids grow up, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Christmas was what Christmas was. It's, as a parent, you hold your breath and pray for the best. And Santa was good to the kids, and that's all that mattered. And they're still opening up gifts, which drives me nuts because I would just want to, get it done, tear the tree down, all that stuff, as does my wife. Kids are taking their time with it, which whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Anthony, are you a guy that opens your presents up all at once, or you kind of savor the moment?
No, we savor. In fact, it was funny this year. My mom's like, "You guys can just here, just take them all. You can just open them." And I was like, "No, one at a time. We're keeping that tradition. We want to let you. You worked hard to get those presents throughout the year. You get to play Santa. So savor the moment for Mom. Savor the moment for us. This one at a time. That's one of the things we like to keep here in the house. Let's go one present at a time, and have that moment with the family. Get to see what the other people in the room are opening as well, because you're doing it one at a time. So you just look around and say, "Oh, Tom's opening this, and Billy's opening this," and now it's fun because we have little nieces and nephews that we get to watch open presents with childlike wonder, which is always fun to see them like tear up the wrapping paper, not a care in the world on, if they're ripping the box or not. I remember, one of them is a lot more organized than the other one. So like, you have one that's ripping the wrapping paper like crazy, and the other one's like, let me just
taking the tape off, taking the bow off,
the wrapping paper off, and then putting it in the pile. It's got to be there, and the other one's just like.
I would go nuts. The person who is, just putting the bow, taking the tape off, making sure that they can rewrap it. I would like the second they got done with it, I would just rip it up just to be in their face. Greg, were you pegged me for someone who ripped up the paper.
Yeah, when I was a kid, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It was all over the place. Oh yeah. It was the floor was covered in wrapping paper and bows and bags and all that type of stuff. 100%.
That's the only rule we have in our house. I don't care if you open up 75 presents at the same time, but you get to a point you've got to like put the wrapping paper and trash into a trash bag.
Yeah.
Like we have the Pittsburgh trash bag on hand, ready to go, just throwing stuff away. That's the Pittsburgh rule that we've adopted here in East Palestine. So, favorite Christmas tradition that you had this year? What's something you really cherish this year that you're looking forward to, hoping keeping for the next year or from years to come? Greg, we'll start with you.
And we always do. Obviously, I don't get to see my mom a ton. She lives up in Western New York, so she's come down to spend Christmas with us the past couple of years, with my wife and her family. So I think that's something we've kind of established over the last couple of years, and it's always good to see her because I don't get to see her a ton. But we do a family dinner, Christmas Eve, like afternoon, evening, with my wife's family, and that's always been a good time. That's something that I kind of look forward to every year, just kind of getting everyone together. And it's not just family, it's friends and everything like that too. So we all get to kind of come together, have some drinks, eat some good food and everything like that. This year we had some crock pot lasagna from one of my
Ooh,
mother-in-law's friends. It was the first time I ever had it. It was absolutely phenomenal. So that's something I kind of look forward to every year for sure.
love it. Anthony, how about you?
One of our traditions that we continue and we hope to continue with the youngins that we're able to kind of now start to watch things with on TV as they get a little bit more able to sit for longer than 30 seconds and kind of pay attention to stuff. We watch, our family loves Alf because I have an older brother who had cerebral palsy like me, a much worse version of cerebral palsy, passed away, in 2001, but he loved Alf. So Alf was on when he was alive. Alf was on TV a lot on our house. So one of the things we do on Christmas is we watch the Alf Christmas special, which is
Yeah.
really fun.
Mhm.
It's just one of the family things. The Alf Christmas special, it's always on. So now we get to show the younger generation of Hartwigs the Alf Christmas special, and that was real fun to be able to sit and watch it with them.
Alf's a good show, man.
Yeah.
Growing up, that was the best. I just we're so fortunate in our house. We have so many different traditions and kind of starting to make things ours. But this Florida trip is turning into our Christmas tradition. It's my chance to get away. My wife's chance, God bless her, to get away as well. Bob Burek is commenting about saving the world. And that Z hates him. That it couldn't be further from the truth. To be able to have those three families, and sometimes we get a family here, family here, family. To make it our own. There's a picture that I put out on social media before we even left for the airport, but I couldn't hold back or resist. Just having conversations. It's like that whole day or those 3 days essentially is just having conversations about how life is. And Trevor Burek is playing at Louisville. He's on the line. He's been on YSN a ton. And what I can tell you is this kid, he's a monster. He's just the nicest kid ever. He's walking around in a boot, God bless his soul, rolling around on a scooter. He's taking Z on the scooter with him because Z, heaven forbid, he walks 7 steps in Disney World. And they're throwing Bella on their shoulders and, taking them all over. It's amazing. Family is the greatest thing there is, bar none. And I'm just so excited and so blessed to be able to have that extended family that we have with those families that get it. And they've been through like every stage that we've been through, so they kind of watch and mock me a lot, like Bob does. And what's funny is Bob was the one that took Z on Seven Dwarfs. Like Z didn't want to go, and Bob's like, "You're coming with me." And then on the Tower of Terror, Z tried to, like, the doors open. Z jetted. Bob literally picked up Z and threw him to Trevor. Trevor plants him in the seat next to him. And then next thing you know, Z's not even in the picture that they take on the ride because he's so far down in his seat. I'm just very, like, we feel very blessed to be able to do stuff. And, as much as we love, I can say this on behalf of all of us on the screen, we love our job here at YSN.
Oh yeah.
What we do, there's got to be a time where you step out, you step away, because it'll beat you up. It'll beat you up because we're so invested for those 51 weeks out of the year, and the stats are coming out. I don't believe we ever got the winners out for week 1, did we? For Big Dogs?
Big Dogs, no.
So I'll get that out today. That's on me, 100% on me. I had my computer down there. What I thought was a better solution, because it was supposed to be web-based browsing, technical stuff, didn't transfer. So like the save component is still on my computer up here, and I had my laptop down there, even though they're both Macs, even though I couldn't figure it out, is basically what I'm trying to say. And I didn't want to make it look cheap. So the Big Dogs will come out, the winners from week 1. We will also have a new round of Big Dogs on Wednesday or Tuesday night, something like that. And then that'll wrap up on Sunday night. And then what else am I missing here? We have the statistics from last year in case anybody's a nerd like me and wants to know how many people your games reached throughout the year in 2025. We have all of that information now that is tucked away. Another record-breaking year here at YSN, and it's because of the great people that take advantage and to really watch YSN, year round and not just seasonally or just once in a while. They're watching it constantly, which is great. I mean, we were in line for a ride down there, and Bob Burek was watching the Louisville game in Disney World. And I made the mistake of being like, hey, what are you watching? He's like, YSN, you ever heard of it? And I'm like, got me. But it's those moments that I guess I don't appreciate nearly enough because we're so kind of in the foxhole that like people are taking advantage from hundreds of miles away to watch and stay connected to their hometowns. It's unbelievable. I mean, whoever thought of this is a genius. I don't know what else I can say about that person.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
I didn't say me. I'm just saying that person. Whoever came up with it's brilliant. What a visionary. A man way ahead of his time. No, but it's cool to see because now we're recognized. Not that that's why we got into it, but things like the Addison Roads 2,000 point barrier. Like I wouldn't have known about that. I'd have to come back and read the paper if it was still around. To be able to watch that live and Greg to be able to cut that up as a highlight. And to be proactive and things like that, the things that people will miss otherwise during their busy lives, we now have access to. I can tell you we had well over 17 million views on just on Facebook this year. Facebook, 17 million views of our page. That's wild to me. That's wild.
Yep.
And then we had the most users on our site ever this year. Almost 1 million unique viewers on our website, which is incredible. If you think about just the region that we represent and the schools that we represent in that region, 1 million people individually, like you, me, we're 3, right? 1 million people are watching YSN. That's incredible. And we've had big strides in viewership, and we've really pushed. We want to reach as many people as possible. The hits are great, and they'll keep coming, but we want to continue to scale and to grow. And we did that again we were light years away from where we started. Anthony and I remember very well the original graphics on
boy. The jersey graphics for player.
Why do you always go to the jersey one? That was one of the execution was a little flawed, but the idea was there. The idea was there.
I think we knew it because we saw the NFL use the same kind of idea like a month later. We were like, hey, look at that.
Bunch of skis bags. They're doing okay. The NFL is doing all right from a business perspective. But I gotta say, man, it was cool to see other people utilizing YSN and not like, hey, you want to go to ysnlive.com and check out your. No, it was people. I mean, they just turn it on. They just turn it on. It's unbelievable. And can't say enough things. Another outstanding year. Thanks to, first and foremost, we have to say thank you to the users, the YSN Nation that has continued to support us. And show us what they want. It is truly your sports network. So whenever they have something they want, they send us email. They send us feedback. And sometimes you end up on the Monday mailbag, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's valuable criticisms and critiques, and we appreciate that. Got to thank our sponsors. I think without a doubt, the ones that allow us to move the needle a little bit, to get people to these sites and get these great announcers and great staff members paid the way they deserve. So thank you so much to the sponsors who continue to support us, and we're always looking for more. So if you have a small business or looking to market a business that or you represent, send us over an email or a message. We would love to get in contact with you and show you how we can connect you with pretty much anybody at this point. We have got an incredible following that we're blessed to have, and it's because we really care about these student athletes. We really, really care about these coaches, and we certainly care about these communities and the heroes that lie within them. So thank you a million times over. Cannot say thank you enough. We'll get the official stats out within the week, so that way you can kind of decipher those and you share them if you like, and just kind of celebrate with us, because we're excited. We knew they were coming. We knew they were going to be good, and we're certainly excited. And again, blessed to have all of this come to fruition. And we think 2026 is going to be our biggest year yet again. So stay tuned for all of that. Guys, I kind of alluded to it. We had some big things happen, some major needle moving going on over the break. Some people caught on to it. Other people, like myself, like an ostrich with its head in the sand. From your standpoint, Anthony, what were some of the things, the highlights that people may have missed over the last 2 weeks or so between Christmas and now?
Well, one, you said it, you alluded to it. Addison Rhodes got her 2,000th career point. Not just that, but also broke the Crestview all-time leading scoring record by eclipsing 2013. And I think now she's at 2031 because she dropped, I think, what was it, Greg? 46 on Girard.
It was 40 plus points. Yeah,
it was a comeback victory. They trailed Girard at halftime. Girard played well in that game and gave Crestview a scare. And then all of a sudden, Addison Rhodes kind of coming off an ankle injury that she suffered in the Holiday Hoops game against Laurel right at the end. We didn't know if she was going to be healthy to come to that Girard game. We were kind of sitting and waiting to see if she'd be in the lineup, and she was. And boy, did she tell the world that I'm fine, because when you come off of an injury where it looks like you might not be able to play for a couple of games, and then you come back the next game and you drop 40 plus and break the scoring record for Crestview. And I think she's going to probably be on pace to break the Columbiana County scoring record pretty soon here too, held by Alyssa Schroeds. So I'm
Ashley
sorry,
Schroeds?
Ashley Schroeds. Alyssa's the one.
I beat you. I beat you in girls first trivia. I did it.
Write this day down.
January 5th, 2026. We did it. We beat Anthony. I didn't say it. Other people told me. I beat him.
But yeah, so Addison, congratulations on that. But we also had another big performance in the same conference. Mandy Cardinal got to the 1,000-point eclipse, but also broke the Garfield program record for most points in a game with 42 on the Saturday after Christmas against Brookfield, conference opponent. So,
what was the record before that? Do we know?
No, I don't know what the record was. I just heard that she broke it. But 42 is a pretty good mark for points in a game. And you got to remember, she spent with that milestone, she spent a whole chunk of a season down with ACL injury. So. Yep. You're talking 1,000 points in about 3 seasons instead of 2.5, because you're not done with this one yet. So pretty impressive to do that when you miss a whole season with an injury.
Yeah.
Greg, you were putting together highlights. What caught your eye over the break?
You had the Mineral Ridge buzzer beater.
Yes.
I think it was Caden Schaefer, I believe his name is. Comes in, a little step back 3 to force overtime, and then Mineral Ridge just went on a run in overtime to beat Champion. Just a huge win. So there's that one, and then we had speaking of 1,000-point scorers, we had junior Colin. We've had this conversation a million times. Callaher. Hit 1,000 points for Heartland Christian. I believe the Lions are still undefeated, either 9-0 or 10-0 this year. So, and he's only a junior quarterback for Austintown Fitch as well. So he could go on a run this year as well. He's a great scorer. I've seen a bunch of his highlights so far this year. You still have McDonald at 9-0 as well. Drew Zajac, Casey Miller, Joey Capizzello, Brandon Emmerich, they're all kind of, running rampant up at McDonald. I've saw them beat Girard recently with Anthony on the call. That was a good game to watch. And then, you have Ursuline. Jalen Gunther and Noah Bell are probably one of the best duo in the area, and especially possibly in the region as well. Gunther just scored 1,000 points as a junior. So just a lot of high school highlights over the break and in the recent weeks, for sure.
I guess we got to go kind of lean into this. Number one, is McDonald allergic to losing? Like, are they 50 pen around if they lose? Is that how this works? I mean, seriously, like they lose one game all football season. They haven't lost yet in hoops. Is this the greatest McDonald era of all time in all sports?
I mean, how many? Yeah, I mean, how many times have we talked about this senior class? I mean, Drew Zajac, Casey Miller are two guys that were huge contributors on the football team, and they're huge contributors on the basketball team as well. And then you throw in some other athletes around that senior class, and they're strong. I mean, they kind of beat a shorthanded Girard team. I mean, AJ Pearson's out for the season with I believe it was a broken foot or something like that.
Yeah,
Anthony,
broken ankle in practice.
broken ankle. So I mean, they're kind of a little bit shorthanded, but I mean that Girard team is solid. I mean, Braxton Sloan's probably one of the better players in the area. He's a kid with an engine that just doesn't stop. I mean, he is all over the place, and so it was a good win for them. And then they just beat Mineral Ridge before. Yeah, I mean, it was a 3-point game, so I mean that's another huge win for them. So yeah, I would say they're allergic to winning at this point in the year.
Losing.
Losing.
They're
Not
allergic to
winning.
losing.
They like
Sorry,
winning.
the spoke-
They like
the
winning,
spoke in there. And I mean that gym, I love that gym too that they have over there at McDonald High School. It's really cool. They have the area up top that you can stand in, and then the bleachers on the side. It's really cool. But yeah, they're definitely going through a special season this year, a special year.
And then you stop and think there's a lot of those athletes that shine the brightest in the spring during the track season. I mean, Drew Zajac is a state champion, and so the McDonald track is like state champion every year in track. So there's more coming. They're not going to lose a lot in the spring on the track and field side either. So just when you thought it's over in basketball, not so fast, my friend.
And that's the crazy part. I mean, you think about this. They could essentially go undefeated through all the regular seasons. If you think about it, I mean, track's a little bit tougher to track, no pun intended, but you know what I mean? Like they can be championship material in all three phases. They can just sweep the board across the way. And I hate to say it, like I'm rooting. I don't hate to say I'm rooting for him, but like you want to see this. You want to see history being made. And we've been following Drew Zajac, a.k.a. Thor, since he was knee-high to a grasshopper, which was never, because I think he came out of the womb at 6'8". But it's one of those things, like, I kind of do internal reflection, like, during that week off, and I was like, why do I feel bad about rooting for these teams, even though other teams give us grief about rooting for other, like, we're rooting for everybody that is under the YSN banner. Like I wore a South Range hat down in Florida, and one of the comments was, "Oh, okay, South Range. Now I understand." Yeah, I root for you too. I rooted for your son actively throughout his 4 years in high school, and I still root for him today as this young man's in college. But like, I'm not going to bend a knee because I'm gonna root for everybody. I'm going to root for these aren't like professional teams. Like there's a special place in my heart for where my son and daughter will go to school in South Range. There's a very special place in my heart. Everyone knows at East Palestine. But there's outside of that, I still appreciate Leetonia for being the first ever YSN school, for Salem for believing us, all the way through to Louisville, all the way through to anybody new, Maplewood, who is new. And if we sign another 70 schools, I'll root for all of them as well. And you can root for the kids and be appreciative of the game or sport that they're taking part in. But man, McDonald's on a heater right now, and keep rolling sevens, baby. Keep rolling sevens. Like, let's go. Let's stay hot. I want to see Jimmy Francis Shelley win. I want to see Drew Zajac win. Casey Miller. I want to see all of those kids win and be excited and go back 10 years from now and say, was this the greatest McDonald team of all time? You know, was this the greatest class of all time from freshmen to seniors? What greatness can we see? So that being said, we are now after, Anthony, the Christmas break, which every coach used to tell us. They don't say it so much anymore. It's a little bit more of the zipped lips. But when we started this bad boy, hey, nobody even counts these games until after Christmas. Well, here we are January 5th. I think it's high time that these games started, quote unquote, counting.
Yep.
And so now that we're counting them, who are we watching from the girls' side for hoops? Obviously, Crestview and Addison Rhodes, we've talked about her. Who else are we watching to be the teams to keep an eye on over the next few weeks, in the next few months, as we head towards, believe it or not, playoff time right around the corner?
I think if you go through each conference, especially the conferences that we have blanketed in YSN, you have a team in each conference that you're like, okay, or multiple teams. You're like, we got to keep an eye on them. For the MVAC Scarlet tier, Western Reserve and Middle Ridge, we all know how the first matchup ended. They have to play each other again later on this season. They're on they're on a collision course, and both teams look so good. You know, you have Quincy Miller and Kaylee Ramsey leading the Blue Devils. Then you have Sullivan Sandy, who's dropping about 19 per game, I think is her average right now on the Middle Ridge side. They're both killing it, and they're gonna. I think whoever wins that second game is going to kind of either plant the flag as the outright champions or share it is basically how it's going to come down to, because the other teams in that conference, I just, unless someone stumbles, it's going to be one of those ones that it comes down to that game. And then you go to the gray tier, obviously it's Crestview, but LeBray, even though that first game did not go their way at all, I still think LeBray is a team that can make some noise, not just in that conference the second time they play Crestview, but also in the playoffs. You go to the NE8, Wild West, just like it is every year. I mean, Girard's in front right now, but Lakeview's on their heels, so is Niles. South Range is still in the mix. So you have teams in there that can all kind of make a run at the conference. Last year, remember, Girard won it with 3 conference losses, so anything can happen in the NE8. Then you go into the EOAC. Columbiana looks fantastic. Anna Clemmers having herself a year. Evie Rapp is really good, getting to the hoop. And then you have Megan Moser. So they have a 3-headed monster in Columbiana that's really hard to stop. Then you go in the AAC, and I think Canfield might be a team that might be up for candidate to make the longest postseason run, because they're just a complete team that plays really good defense that is hard to score against, and they have offense that can score enough that defense really means a lot. Like, a lot of defensive teams maybe struggle offensively, and you're like, yeah, but if a team scores more than 40, they're going to be in trouble. But Canfield can go and score 60 if they want to on any given night as well. So Canfield looks really good. And then, of course, last but not least, we can't leave out Hoban, because Hoban might be a team that's on a destiny kind of run. I mean, I think we say that about every Hoban sport at this point. Like, we're like, oh, this Hoban team looks like they can win state. But I got a chance to see Hoban live at South Range this week, and Ty Bartel would probably be the first to echo this, because he sees them live a lot more than I do. They're just stacked, and they're in Division 2, which will be tough, because that's going to be a gauntlet of a bracket to get through. But Hoban is geared up to make a run after falling just short of the Final Four last year.
And as we look on to, teams that we expect to be there, who's a team that you're keeping your eye on because they're putting it together, one step in front of the other, and you expect them to get better day after day, and maybe their name will be in the conversation down the stretch as we get toward those playoff kind of bracket unveilings. But who's a team that or a couple teams maybe that you've got your eye on that are going to be fun to watch down the stretch?
One team that pops to my mind that might be like middle of the pack when we seed them in the bracket, but also I think is very dangerous because they have a couple of game records, is the Salem Quakers. And we're going to see them play West Branch on Wednesday. That'll be a big litmus test for them to see how they are and where they are in their growth. But Abby Knickerbocker is having herself a fantastic season on the hardwood. But then you have Maddie Andres putting together a great year. And then Sampson doesn't score. Carly Sampson doesn't score a lot, but she gets a lot of assists. So she's distributing the ball really well, a great point guard for the Quakers. And then, shocker, they have a roam down low that can get some rebounds, get some blocked shots, just like Swatzilla that we saw years back and Cammie. So her younger sister is doing the same thing. I think the Salem Quakers are a team that you have to keep an eye on all season, and they can be one of those sleepers when we get into tournament time. That might be one of those, middle of the pack seeds, maybe like 10 to 15, but can beat a 5 seed in a 4 seed pretty easily.
Sean's talking about Niles being pretty scary. Greg, you're looking at a lot of these highlights. You're out taking a lot of these pictures. Who's got your attention that you think is going to make a run down the path here?
On the boys' side or on the girls' side?
Whichever you want, man. It's your show. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I'll go with. I mean, you got to look at the three teams we've kind of mentioned already on the boys' side with Heartland Christian. I mean, they play fast, they score a lot of points. So I definitely think they're a team to watch, kind of moving forward. When you have a guy like Jalen Gunther and Noah Bell, Ursuline should be a team to watch. And then we already talked about McDonald as well. I mean, they're undefeated. They're playing as a team. They have a strong senior class, and gotten guys that are used to winning. So I think those are all three teams to watch. A couple of the other teams, I just saw Cheney play Boardman recently, and they got the two Hill twins, who are tall, athletic, can jump out of the gym. So they protect the rim well. Then they got a couple really fast, quick guards that can score the ball at the hoop and shoot the ball as well. So I definitely think Cheney is a team to watch. You got to look at East as well. Cardinal Mooney, I think last time I saw them against Canfield, they were a little beaten up, but I think they have the pieces as well. Kerry Palermo is always a good coach. He's always going to have his guys ready to go. And then Canfield as well. I saw them beat Cardinal Mooney and play close with Ursuline. And they're a team with, I think, Jace Ricardo and a couple other guys around the perimeter that can really score the ball. So the Cardinals are a team to watch too. I mean, I think we have a lot of teams around the area, like smaller schools. LeBray is another team to keep an eye on. Austin Rowe is, a proven scorer. He reached 1,000. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching that kid since he was a freshman, and he was a sharpshooter back then. He's kind of hit a growth spurt. He's tall, he's lengthy, he can play defense, and he can still shoot the ball. I saw him pull up from like 5-6 feet behind the 3-point line when they were playing Brookfield earlier this month, and so he can still do it all. And that team has a lot of size. I mean, they got a lot of big boys in the paint, and they got a couple guards on the outside that can really play ball. So LeBray is a team to watch. And then, a dark horse maybe is Mineral Ridge. They got some size down low and really some guys that can handle the ball and play in the paint in the mid-range area. So I think the Rams are a team to keep an eye on as well.
Got to get Sean on here, man. He's a key contributor in our message board. Although our message board would pretty much whittle away to nothing, but I'm with you guys. I love seeing it. I love the excitement that's building. And I think now being as that it is that we call it Black Monday in the NFL because all the coaches are getting fired, which we'll get to here in just a couple minutes. Get your take on the NFL season that was and what has transpired. But I will say this, like now that everything's kind of ramp up, like people were kind of in basketball mode, and you're going to see, as we do every year, it's going to be full throttle. Like when you go out, Anthony, I know you got a game tonight, right? You go out, you're going to feel that atmosphere change from before Christmas to what it is now. And now people are going to get serious. Players, communities, as well as coaches are going to get serious because every game counts now. I mean, if you weren't already into your bag of conference play, you're going to get your fair share and then some as we turn that corner towards the 2026 run. So excited for that. Excited for the players to really start standing out. I mean, you talked about Austin Rowe, you talked about Gunther, you talked about Bell. We talked about the McDonald team on the boys' side. Addison Rhodes is always going to be in the MVP conversation naturally. But we're starting to see, as we predicted years ago, because of the AAU stuff and the travel basketball stuff at younger ages, thanks to guys like Chris Huxold and Todd Johnson, the EOY, BL, the level of basketball has gone up dramatically, drastically over the last few years because kids are being attracted more to basketball. They're playing more basketball. And naturally, when you get more reps, you're going to get better in those, I don't want to say low pressure situations, but sometimes in these travel leagues, in these AAU tournaments, the basketball is a little bit more pressure packed than it is when you've got a 30-point lead on your conference opponent because they've got 7 guys and you've got 15. Depth is everything. And I think you mentioned it. Cardinal Mooney went through it a little bit before the break. Yeah. They caught that flu that's going around. Bad. Yeah. I think they had to cancel a game, if I'm not mistaken, because they didn't have enough players. So
they're not alone either. There were a lot of teams over break that had to cancel games because of illness on both sides, boys and girls. So, It was a rough, as far as illness goes, it was a rough Christmas break with a lot of teams, and that flu was going around hard.
It was crazy. It went through my house too. I was
Oh.
down for the count at one point.
Wash your damn hands, people. Wash
I'm
your damn
trying.
hands. Sick of this. Mask up, prevent the spread. There's still people out there, God bless them, that are still wearing that mask.
Yep.
Down in Orlando, mostly, I'm pretty sure.
And I bet
Just
it's
walking
the
around.
not covering the nose. Oh, I can't get through my nostrils.
Natural air filter up here, pal. Natural air filter. Okay, that's what the doctors will tell you. Wrestling Wednesday will return on Wednesday. Just a heads
Yes.
up.
Mhm.
Do you have any idea who you have this week?
We're aiming for. We haven't confirmed it yet, but we have. We're just got to get. We got to get the green light from the administration, but we're aiming for Braden Reed from Brookfield, who just got his 100th win over the weekend. So that's who we're aiming for, and hopefully, if we get the green light from the administration at Brookfield, then we'll be able to get him on Wednesday.
Lots of games on tonight. YSNlive.com. Naturally, guys, as we turn the page from high school sports, let's get to college real quick. Let's skim over that if you don't mind. Just me being me, not an Ohio State fan, just a casual viewer of every other Ohio State fan, trying to figure out why. But anyway, what the hell happened? What? Miami comes through. The Hurricanes are coming through. And the Buckeyes are no more. The national championship parade in 2026 has been come to a complete stop for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So now that there's a team in Miami, who is the only team left that's won a national championship back in 2001.
Yep.
You also have Ole Miss. You have
You're-
Oregon. And who am I missing?
Indiana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The
Indiana.
number one seed.
The number one seed. How could I
only
ever
team-
forget about old Sig Signetti?
The only team to win off the bye. Every other bye team lost.
And I'm sure we're going to hear about that because Ryan Day is going to cry about how it's not fair because they didn't win, and that's just how this goes. But I will tell you this. I don't care who wins at this point. I am stoked. Like, this is going to be some of the greatest drama you could ever imagine because no matter who wins, it's going to be exciting for the entire country because now that I think 12 is the right number. I think 12 is the right number. Everybody wants to increase it again to 16. I don't think it makes sense. I think you put the best 12 in. That's not what they did this year, obviously. But I think then you even have more parity when you put the best 12 in because I think Notre Dame could have made a splash. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I'm not biased in that way, but I think Notre Dame could have made a splash, at least made a better of a game somewhere.
Madison and Tulane.
Yeah, it's. Do you like what they're doing, Greg?
I like giving an avenue to a Group 5 team, but I also think it shouldn't be guaranteed to I think there have been Group 5 teams that would have earned their, like UCF, like a couple years back. Like if there was a playoffs back then that was 12, they earned their way in. But like JMU and Tulane, just because they won their conference and the ACC kind of flubbed a little bit, I think that helped them in. Like I think anyone with brains could have sat there and gone, JMU and Tulane both in the playoffs is not the best 12 teams. Like I don't know how they kind of logically said that. I don't know if it's in their guidelines that's had to happen because I'm not like diving into the bylaws of the college football playoff committee, but like they had to know when they made that decision that it was like these are not the 12 best teams, and that's no shade to JMU and Tulane. I think one of them probably deserved. JMU actually scored 34 points against Oregon. So, like, offensively, they seem like they were at least up to snuff. They couldn't stop their offense, but on the other hand, like, their offense did a lot better job than who'd Oregon beat last week? Whoever they beat. Alabama, right? Was it Oregon?
Alabama.
Alabama got beat by Indiana. I can't remember. But Oregon shut out the team, right? So they went from giving up 34 to JMU to a complete shutout. So
I can't remember who they beat.
So yeah, I mean, I still like that there's an
Alabama.
avenue if a group. No, I think didn't Indiana beat Alabama?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Never
so
mind.
I'm trying to like my
Who
brain
cares?
is
They
going.
lost.
It was a shutout. Oregon went from giving up 34 to JMU to a shutout. That's the point. I like that there's a pathway for a Group 5 team that earns it to get into the playoffs, but I don't think it should be like guaranteed. Like we have to have a Group 5 team in here no matter what.
Greg?
I think it's so from what I understand, it's the top 5 conference champions are the ones that are guaranteed a win.
The
Or
highest
guaranteed.
ranked.
Yeah, the highest ranked conference champions are the ones that are guaranteed a spot, plus a group of 5 team. So that's where you get JMU and both Tulane, because Tulane was
Duke won
ranked.
the ACC and they gave
And Tulane was ranked higher than Duke. So that's where you get the JMU and Tulane. Personally, I think it should be, if you're automatically going to give a spot to a group of 5 team, it should be the best 11 teams. Before that, it should be the best 11 teams that make the playoffs. I think that's the best way you don't miss out on teams like Notre Dame. I think they're a team that should have made the playoffs, especially over teams like Tulane and JMU. It's got to be the best 11 teams. The biggest thing for me in college football right now, and I believe it has a lot to do with the playoffs, is the schedule of college football. I mean, you have at the end of the season, you have the transfer portal opening up. You have coaches getting fired, coaches getting hired. For example, Lane Kiffin going to LSU when his team is in the midst of a generational run and making program history. Like, I don't think players should have to deal with that. I don't think coaches should have to deal with that. I think the schedule and the transfer portal and everything like that needs to change so that it's fair. I mean, Dan Lanning came out, and he's the Oregon head coach, came out and said and talked about the schedule and how they should be playing every week. And the college football playoff championship should be on New Year's Eve. And then the day the new year starts, the day the transfer portal opens, the day coaches can switch teams, all of that stuff. Like that way you don't have like players missing out on opportunities to go to different schools. Like, you're stuck at your program until the new year opens, and it gives you a chance to know where coaches are going to go, know who's going to be your coach, and everything like that. The biggest problem I have is the schedule. I think the college football playoff, I think 12 teams is the right number. How they figure things out, I think could be different. I mean, they did it last year. Like, last year, all the conference champions got that first round bye, I believe. Like, Arizona State got the first round bye when they probably shouldn't have. And then they changed it for this year. So I think they can still make tweaks and everything like that. And everything can always be improved, but I just have a problem with the schedule of college football right now. That's my rant for today.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that, because I mean, I heard Nick Saban say, along the same lines of you've got to get this figured out. Either follow the NFL side of things, where it's like May opens everything up, and you give the guys 3 months off to do their own thing, or to do player workouts. But my bigger concern right now in college football is that 33% of college football players are in the transfer portal. Like, think about that. It's a third of your players are in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
That's like not the hot seat. This is they haven't landed. They just went back in. That's a problem. When you're dealing in 33% are people on the move. It doesn't matter what that is. It's a problem. It's a very big problem, because basically you look at this as a pie chart, and that means a third-year team is not returning because they're in the transfer portal. Could be more because you're going to graduate, I would assume. More than that, probably another, 20%. So then you got 50% of your team coming back, maybe. That's insane. I mean, it's
crazy.
Highest turnover ever. I mean, if you lost 33% of your workforce every year, your business would go under. There's no way to have consistency or stability if that's happening. Is that good or bad?
Well,
being what I just said, is it good or bad for college football and parity in college football?
Yeah, it's one of those double-edged swords, because it's bad for the teams that are losing it, but then like the teams that like Texas Tech, for example, last year for a long time was irrelevant in college football, but then the transfer portal hits and they just killed the transfer portal this year. And here they are, going into the playoffs. That's who Oregon beat, by the way, Texas Tech.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
it was.
that's who. There it is.
But they weren't even relevant last year. They haven't been relevant in a long time. And then they have a huge transfer portal blast because they have a huge donor step up and say, hey, I'll front millions of dollars to bring kids here. And that happened to them in softball too. If you're a softball fan, they kind of racked the softball transfer portal with a big donor. So someone in Texas Tech, maybe Patrick Mahomes, maybe a group of people kind of gave a lot of money to that school, and now all of a sudden they're hitting the transfer portal like crazy. And now all of a sudden, hey, here's Texas Tech in the college football playoffs. So it can benefit some teams that are kind of like in Texas Tech's world if you have a big enough pocketbook. But it can also, it obviously cannibalizes some other teams out there too.
Fun to watch. Let's go to F. Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, like just to kind of play off what Anthony said. I mean, if you look at Indiana, for example, I mean, they've been a program that's been at the bottom for a very long time, and Curt Cignetti comes in 2 years and turns it around. And I believe, I can't remember if it was from where he went to his old school to JMU, or when he went from JMU to Indiana. But between one of the stops, he basically took, I think, 40 players from his old stop and brought them to his new stop. I think it might have been from JMU to Indiana. And in that way, I mean, you can completely turn a program around because all the players that are coming in are used to how you coach, used to your style, everything like that. But then again, I mean, you have coaches that are having to basically rebuild a roster every semester, every year, just because of the transfer portal. And then I think it's hard to build a culture that way. I think it's hard to just kind of have any sense of continuity, really. And it's tough. It's tough.
That's why Ole Miss would not let Lane Kiffin coach in the playoffs, because you're not getting another month to recruit our players to LSU.
Well, it's going to get real interesting if Alabama decides to let go of their coach, because Lane Kiffin is going to be on a one-way ticket. Roll Tide. I mean,
that'd be wild. That'd be wild.
I'm kind of rooting for it in this case, just for the chaos factor, but we'll see how it goes. Pick, if you had to pick right now, blindfold, who's winning the national championship this year in football? Greg.
So who do we have left? We have Oregon,
Indiana,
Ole Miss.
Oregon, Indiana, Ole Miss, and who's the fourth team? Miami. I'm gonna go Indiana. I like the way they're playing right now. I like they just seem like they're like one of those teams of destiny in a way. I thought Miami looked really good against Ohio State. That defense is freaking mean. Malachi Toney is one of my favorite players in the country right now. He's a freshman and does it literally all. I really like Dante Moore from Oregon, but I think Indiana just kind of has this mentality. And I mean, the Curt Cignetti quote, he's a guy from Western Pennsylvania. Google me, love it. So I'm gonna go with the Hoosiers.
And
I'm picking Ole Miss. I think their players feel a little bit like they have our coach doesn't think that thought there were better pastures to go to, and I kind of felt that when they were playing Georgia, who I think was the toughest test in the playoffs. I think having to beat a team that you lost to earlier in the season in the SEC, and the team that kind of has set the standard for winning college football playoffs, to have to go through them in the first game of the playoffs and in that round, that was pretty tough for Ole Miss to be able to do, and they did it. So I think Ole Miss, I'm gonna go with them as a sleeper to win it.
I just hope all the teams have fun at this point.
He already picked one before the break, so he's riding with the Ducks.
I am riding with the Ducks, but I would love if Indiana won. I would love if Miami won. I would love if Ole Miss won. It doesn't matter to me, but Go Ducks! That's what we're doing, because I've got Oregon. I got Oregon hat, and I've got Oregon hoodie.
You definitely picked the best mascot. I will say that.
Oh yeah,
like I really like.
It's hilarious.
I love Cignetti. I really do. And finding out literally yesterday, that he's a Western Pennsylvania guy, I'm 10 toes down, man.
Coached at IUP, I will say, I think he's like 1-4 or 1-5 against Slippery Rock in his time at IUP. So just gotta say, the Rock represent. Just gotta say that.
Wonder if he ever played the Westminster College. I wonder.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Probably be 1-4 against them too.
Tighten up, baby.
The Titans, the fighting Titans, baby. All right, let's get to NFL real quick, boys. There were over 1,000 touchdowns scored just on the NFL Red Zone this year, which means there was a lot more scored. It was an offensive season, without a shadow of a doubt, in the NFL this year. Did we like, Anthony, I know you're biased. Did you like the NFL this year? Did it keep your attention for 18 weeks? Do you like the playoff situation? What do you like? What did you hate? Your thoughts, Anthony, go.
So I guess from my fan standpoint, it didn't turn out well, right? My team did not have a great season. It finished like 6-11 and lost a bunch of their last games. But I think from like if you took if I took a non-biased approach and said as an NFL fan, I think NFL fans are like really hungry for some new blood. You know, they kind of got sick of the Ravens and the Chiefs and the Bills all in the AFC championship, just locking in. And now 2 of those 3 teams are not even in the playoffs, right? So you're going to have a different AFC champion. You're going to have probably a different venue in the AFC championship and first time in a while because it was in Baltimore. And if it wasn't in Baltimore, it was in Kansas City for the last 7 years.
Okay.
So you got some new blood, and I think NFL fans are really happy that there's some new blood. So I think in the playoff, I think the playoff system is great. I think the fact that you have the last week of the year, there's still like 3 or 4 teams that are fighting for playoff spots, makes it a lot more entertaining. I sat and watched the Buccaneers-Panthers game because there were playoffs on the line, and it was raining and it was pouring and it was drama, and I was like, cool. That probably doesn't happen in the old playoff regime. It's probably like a throwaway game, So it was fun to watch. And then both those teams were watching the Saints-Falcons game, which to those 2 teams was meaningless, but meant everything to who won the division. So I think it makes watching for fans just a little bit more engaging and fun, the new playoff order with 7 teams getting in.
Are the Bucs in?
No, the Bucs
are
Panthers
not in.
The Falcons beat the Saints, so the Panthers are in.
Because they needed the Saints to win, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Bucs needed the Saints to win.
Yeah. Poor Baker Mayfield.
I think the Bucs would have had a better chance in the playoffs, to be honest, but they didn't do enough to put themselves locked in. So.
They had so many injuries this year. I mean, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin,
Bucky
Irving.
Shout out to the Panthers though for coming back from the dead this year. I mean, they were a franchise that was dead and buried, and they kind of put themselves in a position to make the playoffs. So,
yeah.
Greg, how do you feel about the NFL?
I love it. I mean, I grew up in Western New York, so I'm a huge Bills fan. Have been so since I was 5 years old and going to games and everything like that. So I've been through all the dark ages and seen the Bills' success recently. So I'm locked in week in, week out, whether it's on my phone watching the game or on the TV or anything like that. So I'll always be a fan. And I think when you're a fan of sports in general, and you're a fan of football, it's hard not to watch. I mean, when you have moments like you did last night during the Ravens-Steelers game, like I'm pretty sure, are you still having like heart palpitations, DJ, after watching that game?
I have my heart monitor that is just exploded.
Because obviously I work outside the Steelers stadium for home games and everything like that, and on night games, so we pack up like right at game time for night games, and I'm driving home at the end of the game, listening to the game on the radio and Rob King's call, and I'm just like, did that really just like Chris Boswell really just miss an PAT, and then Luke misses the field goal to lose the game? I'm like, this is crazy, like cinema. Like I was going through all the videos when I got home, sitting at my desk last night, like 12:30 at night, and just kind of just reliving all of the things that I'd missed. And I mean, that's the stuff we love to consume. We love to consume those plays. We love to consume the excitement and everything like that. And then when you get a guy like Mike Tomlin, who's delivering top tier Tomlinisms in the press conferences after the game, it's did you guys hear the new Tomlinism last night?
Yep. If my aunt had parts, she'd be my uncle.
Yep. I was listening to it. To bring context to it, they were talking about the fine line between losing and winning that game, because you have Chris Boswell, who's never missed a PAT this season, missed a PAT, And then you have the Ravens kicker who's never missed a field goal under 50 yards this season. He was 29 for 29. Misses the most important kick of his life. Like the fine line between winning and losing that game was crazy. And Tomlin drops that.
40-year-old DJ Yokley felt so bad for that guy last night.
Yeah.
That poor kicker. Because don't get me wrong, I was excited when he missed it. And then I immediately went to kind of like dad mode. And I was like, oh, dude.
They kept the shot on it, they kept the shot on that poor kid, and you saw him like put his head on his shoulder, and I was like, oh, geez.
when the punter just gives you 2 taps on the head and just walks, how lonely is that?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, and then John Harbaugh escorted him back to the locker room.
Yeah.
And they were trying to, because I watched, when the Steelers win, I consume every bit of media I can, just trying to get any kind of insight. So, like, I'm watching the Lamar Jackson press conference, the John Harbaugh press conference, and they asked John Harbaugh, what did you say to Loop or Loot? Loop.
I think it's Loop.
Loop.
Yeah, like Loop. Yeah.
And he wouldn't give any insight. And when they asked Lamar Jackson, like, you know, how do you feel about your situation? We know you were frustrated. You think, you know, Coach Harbaugh will be back. And he just swears at the guy. I just lost the game, man. I don't know what the beep, you know, just go. And I'm like, first off, we need some more kind of decorum when we're and like, if you're coming to a locker, that to me is acceptable. But if you're standing at a press conference and you're dropping F-bombs, like, I know they're professionals, but like there's got to be a line, because today's media, they're going to play that 24/7, right? And there are little kids out there that look up to that, to Lamar Jackson for good reason.
He's probably going to have a talking to from the front office. They're like, hey guys, this.
I don't see. I disagree with that, Anthony. I disagree, because in the age of content, that sells, and they're going to say, well, he's just showing passion instead of showing restraint. You know, like there's a difference. Like I feel I'm a passionate person. I think you guys are passionate people, but at times you have to show restraint to not say what you want to say, but to say it in a different way, a different avenue, right?
I'd rather see the NFL player pull like a Marshawn Lynch than do that. Like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm just here so I don't get fined. You know,
he showed restraint, and he never does. never does in that
and
moment.
He still made contact. And
listen, there's a lot of people. Like, if we went back, and Greg, you and I have had this conversation on our drives this year. If we went back and looked at all the people that were naysayers of Aaron Rodgers and didn't want Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, or for whatever reason, and now they are rocking his jersey and, you know, saying he's one of the greatest of all time, I'd be interested. It's the same way that the people with Myles Garrett. I watched yesterday, and listen, congratulations to Myles Garrett on, you know, the sack record. However, he wanted out of Cleveland because he wasn't winning. He's still not winning. Nothing changed other than his bank account. And people, I'm a loyal guy, loyal first. And if that was TJ Watt, and TJ Watt said what Myles Garrett did, I would rip this autographed jersey off of my wall that had Watt on it, because that's not the way that I would want to raise my kid. It's like, you agreed to a contract, you agreed to all the stipulations in it, and then you're going to say you want out because you're not winning. Well, how many games did they win? 3, 4 this year?
Something like that, yeah.
What changed? You know, and then you're going to let them carry you off in the middle of a game on your shoulders like Rudy? I don't understand it. Like, and guaranteed he's going to throw a hissy fit this year, probably next year, because Stefanski he's out. They'll get a new coach. Garrett's going to want the LeBron treatment of, hey, I'm going to help pick it, which will probably be Schwartz, right? To keep Myles Garrett happy. But next year, when inevitably they go probably worse than they were this year, because I can't imagine even the Browns doing the most Browns thing ever, them drafting a quarterback this year. I can't like you want to talk about absolutely flushing your future down the toilet. There's no what quarterback's out there.
Mendoza is the only one.
Can you imagine
in my eyes, yeah.
I think if he was in Cleveland, he would swear like a sailor.
It's like with quarterbacks, like this is like I was talking to a friend last night about this. It's all about with quarterbacks. It's all about situation. Like you have to like you can be the top quarterback in the draft. You can be the best college quarterback in a certain year and get drafted number 1 or number 2 overall and turn out to be like Ryan Leaf and not be great because of the situation you're in. I mean, for example, look at Josh Allen. He wasn't the best quarterback in his draft, but he went to a situation where he had an experienced OC who was able to take him under his wing and really like bring him along. Look at Bo Nix with the Broncos and Sean Payton. The perfect situation for a young quarterback to come in and learn from a coach that basically kind of mentored Drew Brees and brought him along as well. Things like that. Like I think it has to be the right situation, and Cleveland has not been the right situation for quarterbacks for quite some time. As you can tell by the jerseys.
Baker was the one. He was the one.
But again, they screwed that up.
I think the biggest thing, like it drove me nuts yesterday watching that whole, not because Myles Garrett got it. I think it was inevitable he was going to get it.
Yeah.
But it was just the way that it transpired. Like, okay, hey, high five some dudes, high five your boys, finish the job, go back to the sideline, celebrate after. I know there's not much to celebrate this year. And there hasn't been for a while in Cleveland. But you're being paid $40 million a year. Okay? Like you're expected to do that, right? Like it would be, if you didn't get it, it would be.
The Bengals were mad that they stopped the game too. I don't know if you guys watched their
Jamar
conference.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase was.
So here's my caveat with everything that transpired yesterday and everything that's transpired for a long time. And I saw it on social media. I didn't see anybody raise this point. The biggest thing when anybody wins a Super Bowl is I hear Browns fans, hey, we have 8 world championships. Okay. If you're going to count that, then you've got to count all the guys that had like 90 sacks before they started keeping sacks as an official record, which means that Myles Garrett is halfway down the list and it doesn't count. So which way are we going to play? You can't just, I mean, you can just use stats the way you want to when you want to, but you completely contradict yourself. The same way that, we passed TJ Watt. See, Myles Garrett's better than TJ. TJ Watt is one of 3 players in the history of the game, not just the NFL, the game, to have 100 sacks and 9 interceptions. And he's a game wrecker. They're 2 different players, 2 different positions.
Here's my biggest difference. TJ Watt does it in games when the Steelers need to win. He shows up in big games. What did Myles Garrett do in the couple playoff games he played in?
Nothing. And it's I am a Myles Garrett hater. I do not like that guy. I haven't liked him for a long time. I didn't like him when he got drafted and said he was coming for Roethlisberger. I mean, you're a rookie. Like, earn your spot. Ben at that point was still a Hall of Famer. But I sit here and I look at the only thing that drives me more crazy than Browns fans are Steelers fans. And not all Steelers fans, not all of them.
There's one in particular that I know.
There's one guy, but he's got I don't know if he's got like I don't even know. It's like he drank a serum at some point, and it was just like, I hate teams that don't win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to root for them, but I'm going to hope that they lose, because if they lose, Mike Tomlin's gone, and we'll go back to the days of having Harrison and Polamalu and Rock. They're not coming back. They're 50 years old.
They're not pulling a Phillip Rivers.
It's not happening. And they complain about having a 42-year-old quarterback. Show me what Aaron Rodgers did last night that cost the Steelers the game. He was the man putting them on his shoulders
Yeah.
and carried them down with no timeouts. It drives me nuts. If you are not a fan, like if you're a fan of a team, how can you ever hope for them to lose?
That's crazy stuff. That's crazy stuff.
I can't wrap my head around it. It drives me bonkers. And it's not, believe it or not, it's not just the guy we're thinking about, which I love him so very much, but I think he's a nutcase sometimes. I really do. And just pick a different team. You don't like him, pick a different team. Nobody's going to say anything about it. Just, you hate the Steelers. Good. Go cheer for the Eagles or the Chiefs. You can have them, Ant. I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me that you'd ever root for your team to lose. Like, enjoy the 18 weeks that you are given, and then we're just gonna lose in the first round.
I think it's crazy, but I honestly think I can't explain it with logic, but I think some fans just like being miserable. Like that's the only way I can explain it. They like having these hot takes where the coach should be fired. They like being negative. So the only way they can be negative is if their team is losing. So they kind of root for that because that's their modus operandi is to be negative.
Okay, the Browns just fired their coach, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski's a 2-time coach of the year in the last 6 years, right? Because he had 6 years. So a third of his tenure in Cleveland, he was coach of the year.
Get rid of him.
Who are you going to get that is better than that? Jim Schwartz, the guy that couldn't win he was Detroit football.
They're gonna bring Bill Belichick back from college.
No shot.
No shot. No chance. No way.
But I only ask that because, Greg, you hear it all the time. I'm sure you listen to a lot of the same stuff that I listen to when it comes to media and content. You fire Tomlin, who's out? He gets hired in 30 seconds by either a media
100%.
conglomerate
100%.
or another team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get what?
Yeah.
Who?
Well, it's like it's the same. Like I've compared Tomlin and McDermott a lot over the last few years. I mean, they went to the same school, they went to the same college, they played college football together. They have really the same mentality. And they're also like the same type of coach, in their programs. They've been able to build the teams up and, lead them to the playoffs and everything. They just haven't really been able to get over the hump. But like if you fire either of those coaches, they're going to go and get picked up in the matter of like they're obviously they haven't been able to get over the hump yet, but they're good coaches. They relate to teams, they relate to players. They're able to get the best out of guys in certain situations. It's a very weird situation. I mean, with Stefanski in general, I mean, obviously they have that year with Baker at the helm where they come to Pittsburgh and they beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs and move on and everything like that. And then down the line, they move away from Baker and go get Deshaun Watson, which is like you kind of handicapped your team in a like with that move. What happens to Kevin Stefanski if they keep Baker Mayfield and they build around him moving forward? Like they're definitely not the team that's in the situation that they are. So in a way, like it's like you kind of stack the deck against Stefanski in a way, in my opinion. It's crazy.
I just don't understand it. I mean, I guess I explained it. I tried to put it together this morning and understand it from a standpoint of what these people think is going to happen. Like last night, if the Steelers lose that game, right?
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's going to get run out of town. Apparently, 100%. This is what everybody talked about.
It would be a mutual parting of ways.
But then the Steelers come out today and they're like, no, win or loss, Tomlin's our guy. Because we want the whole reason that the Steelers are the Steelers is because of the loyalty, right? We can say that 100%. We've had 3 coaches in 60 years or whatever that turns out to be. My question is, the fans were booing the Steelers in quarter number 1 because the offense was not moving. And then all of a sudden, fourth quarter, they're the greatest team. Hearing on DVE this morning, the Super Bowl song, I was just like, oh, dude. booing Renegade again, or booing after Renegade because the Ravens went down and scored on a big splash play to Zay Flowers. You know, there's the Steeler magic, right? That don't ever play Renegade again. I don't want to hear a new song. Yeah, but if you don't play Renegade, you get yelled at as well. It's really a catch-22. But my biggest thing with the coaching carousel, and especially with Tomlin, Tomlin's not out there making plays. The only thing Mike Tomlin can do, and he's much more of a CEO coach and a players coach than he is a strategy coach, I would assume, just from the outside looking in.
Yep.
He can't make Jalen Ramsey back up and cover his guy as a safety. He can only put them in a position to do it, which he did. And when you have bad reads or poor discipline, it's going to show.
Yeah.
I love it when coaches get blamed for poor execution. It's like, I put the play in, the play's there, the play would have worked, and wide receiver doesn't run the right route, or the quarterback doesn't throw it to the right guy, or the O-line lets someone right through, and then, oh, well, it's coach's fault. That was a terrible play call. No, it wasn't. It was just badly executed. Like, that's just hilarious to me.
I mean, think about Ben Roethlisberger, right? When you go back, we haven't had Ben for 4 years now. Ben Roethlisberger covered up a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes in 18 years. And that was for Tomlin. That was for Cowher. That was for lack of talent, because as good as Antonio Brown was, he was absolutely nuts, crazy. And Roethlisberger, by being Ben Roethlisberger and what we thought was being kind of dramatic at the time, was taking the attention off of some of the crazy that was going on in that locker room, and put it on himself, whether it was on purpose or not. That's what he did. And Aaron Rodgers is not that guy, but he is a really talented quarterback, even at 42 years old, slinging it. And that's why in the NFL, people talk about defense all the time. You got to have a good defense, but you got to have a great quarterback if you want to have any kind of chance at a Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls.
Very rarely. I mean, it has happened. Very rarely do you win a Super Bowl with a mid-level quarterback. You have to have a defense that's like beyond elite. You know, you have to have that Ravens defense that won it with Dofer, right? That kind of defense can do it. But unless you have that, you're probably not going to win the Super Bowl with just a defense.
Dude, that's the worst for Dofer, because like every time somebody goes, no, you don't have to have a great quarterback. Remember, Dofer just sitting there like, what did I do to you, man? What did I do to you?
That defense was legit, but I mean,
the Giants won their first Super Bowl against the Patriots with defense. I mean, they scored 17 points in that game. So,
speaking of defense, did you see the stat yesterday that the New York Jets didn't have an interception in the entire year?
First team in NFL history, right?
That's incredible. Incredible.
That's crazy.
We're going to get out of here, but I want to leave you with this. Just a guess. Crazy guess. You guys can tell me it'll never be broken. You can tell me it'll be broken tomorrow, I guess next year. If you had to put Skittles on how long the sack record lasts, it lasted 25 years, something like that.
Didn't
Michael Strahan?
Yeah. Okay, since Michael Strahan.
Does that count? I mean, like, did it though? Because TJ Watt tied it.
Yeah. It counts. We're just doing, like, we don't need to get down to logistics.
Right. Yeah.
But, like, is it something, because they're talking about potentially going to 18 games. And if you remember right, TJ did it with 16 games, I believe, still on the schedule.
Yep.
Strahan did it with 16 games. Pardon me, 16 games. If we go to 18 games, will that sack record be broken? And if so, how many years will it take to have it be broken? Even if it's Myles Garrett again. Greg, we'll start with you.
I think it's going to stand for a while. I think 23 sacks in a season is it's hard to do. And I mean, that's with him putting together. I think he had like 2 5-sack games this year, or 1 5-sack game and a couple 4-sack games. So like, I mean, the dude is a superhuman. I really think it's going to stand for a while. 23 sacks, unless you get some type of superhuman defensive end or an outside linebacker or something like that, like TJ Watt coming through and have a special season. I just right now I don't see anyone in the league that could go out and do something like that. 23 season, maybe a younger TJ Watt, but I think he's kind of, getting up there in age and everything like that, dealing with, health and all that type of stuff. But I don't see someone out there right now that could go out and have 23 sacks in a season. So I think it's going to stand for at least 5 years, 10 years.
Oh, he's coming.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait.
Take a drink. There you go.
Slug it. Come on.
There you go.
Get ready for a take. No, I think Myles Garrett can actually break it again. I do, because here's the thing. Cleveland's not going to become a contender, but if he leaves Cleveland and goes to a contender
Bingo.
and plays against teams that actually have to throw
Good
a lot
point.
more than teams that have to
Good
throw
point.
against Cleveland. Because Cleveland, they had this stat on the post-game show. They had like the fewest dropbacks on their opponent in the league. So teams weren't passing against them because they didn't have to. Because
Right.
most of their teams had big leads in the second half. So they're like, let's just run the ball. So
Wait. I'm gonna go think it gets broken like next year.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's gonna stand long. I'm gonna say 2 years, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we've seen it become a passing league. Jeez, Anthony, are you
Mhm.
okay? Do we need
Good.
to call 911? Okay.
I'm good.
I looked up and he's still going. I'm like, he might lose air here in a minute. I just think that the more dropbacks, and as long as they, because they had to change what was a sack, because with all these running quarterbacks, before it was just if you got a quarterback behind the line of scrimmage, it was a sack, and now it's if a quarterback makes an attempt to run, it's a running play. So I think it's going to get man down, says Rob. If it just depends on the scoring, because I think Strahan was like this too, if I'm not mistaken. There's a scorer that goes in, and there's still some interesting stats if you ask historians about the sack and how it is scored, that TJ should have had, or Strahan, I forget who it was, should have had 2 or 3 more, but they gave him half sacks instead of full sack.
They after each game they report sacks to the league if they think it was scored wrong during the game. They send it to the league. So sacks can be kind of weird.
It's again,
even on Myles Garrett's record-breaking sack, like Joe Burrow fell before he touched him, kind of like Strahan's record-breaking sack, where Brett Favre kind of gave it to him.
Whoa, boy!
Do you ever watch that? You ever watch that documentary about the guy? That's crazy.
What was it? The New York Sack Exchange?
I can't remember what it was called.
Brett Favre almost got his ass beat by that guy. No, I think Favre probably could have held his own a little bit, but
would have at least taken all his money. Oh wait, sorry, is that too soon?
Dang, Ian. Last question before we go. What is your favorite Christmas gift that you got this year? Anthony, go. What'd Santa bring you?
My favorite Christmas gift this year was I got a bunch of NIL gear from Georgia Tech softball, including Sydney Watts gear. So that was a good haul.
That's
good
dope.
haul. So,
Greg?
I got the Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
Oh, that's right.
The
Tell us
camera
about
in them.
those.
So it's pretty sweet. I saw them on social media a lot. So I ended up asking for them, and my wife came through. Great gift. So I've used them at a couple games, posting the stuff to social media, kind of behind the scenes, like behind the camera type stuff, out of games. So it's been pretty cool.
When you get back in the booth, like POV of the broadcaster.
That would be cool too. Yeah. So you could definitely give it a go. But they've been fun to like kind of play around with and stuff like that.
Think I can rate those off? Can I get
everybody
gets Meta
they're,
Ray-Ban
they're
glasses?
worth it. They're worth it. They're cool.
The only glasses that see better than the actual announcer.
You can get prescriptions for them if you need them.
We'll see how this other surgery goes on the 19th. I might not take you up on that. The just being around, again, my family, like we don't do gifts because we do all the other stuff during the year. So
Yeah.
my wife and I, but the kids get all kinds of stuff, and we got to unwrap. It's called a playground system. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
Yeah, we got that for my niece and nephew down in
Yep.
Salem, and they were playing with it all break. That
Yeah.
thing is so cool.
Yeah, it's very, for those of you who've never heard of it, it's basically like the Kinect that Xbox used to have. That you don't have a controller, it's just your body. So there's like Fruit Ninja, and there's a Bluey game on there for Bella.
Mhm.
There's a puppy game that you can, and it's like the subscription. All the games are accessed through the internet. So you sign up for like $89 or something like that for the year, and you have every game available to you. So like the kids, there's a basketball game for Z, bowling, all that stuff. And the kids had a blast with that last night. And I know that it's pretty affordable as it goes to like video game systems nowadays, because now the virtual reality system's up to like $600 just to get in the door. So I think this thing was like $250 and no controllers, and you just go. So I'm excited. The kids are having a blast with it. And then again, just being together as a family and watching kids open up gifts from Santa Claus is the gift in itself. So, hey, we are happy to be back. We obviously went long today. We appreciate you guys, Anthony, Greg, for
Yes, sir.
punching the time clock, hitting some OT today. It's been a while, and certainly we don't want it to be that long before we get together next time. Tomorrow we'll be here from noon to 1, hopefully, right here on YSN Live. Thank you for coming back. We appreciate you. Cannot wait to get started. 2026 awaits, and all the great stories and things that we'll be covering in the new year. For the 8-time best-selling author, world traveler, Grammy, Emmy Award-winning, and Pulitzer Prize nominee, Anthony Ronald Hartwig, and the world's greatest writer, photographer, and just overall teddy bear, Mr. Greg McAfee. My name is DJ Yoakley. This has been YSN Live. And as we say, we'll be better tomorrow. And Anthony, may the sports be with you. Greg, you too, pal.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.